What's going on, people in YouTube land? KimchiChris here, and welcome to today's brand new video where we're talking about the brand new record Originals by Prince. Now, of course, Prince needs no introduction, but we of course are also in a post-Prince world. He did pass a few years back, and that was a very sad day. We knew we weren't going to get any new Prince music, no more performances from him, and he just wasn't going to be around anymore. But we also knew that this mythical and literal vault was going to be opened up, and we were going to get a ton of unreleased stuff in the coming years. Now, we could sit here all day and talk about the ethics of the vault because this was put away for a reason, but we also know that a lot of Prince's unreleased material is just as good as what he put out, or at least that's what we're told, and we're starting to get to see some of that now. There was a bunch of unreleased stuff put on the deluxe version of Purple Rain. Last year we got the microphone and piano record, and here we are with a record called Originals. And this consists of a bunch of music that Prince wrote for other artists, varying from stuff that we would expect like Morris Day and Sheila E., all the way over to Kenny Rogers and the Bangles, all kinds of stuff. Prince had his hand in so many things that it's just mind-blowing when you really look at it, and all these recordings were made during pretty much the height of his power in the mid-80s. And it's just so crazy to think about the fact that Prince was putting out so much on his own, so many records and movies and shows and all kinds of stuff, and he still found time, somehow, to write for other artists. It's just insane. But we've heard about that a lot through the years, just the sheer amount of music and artistry that came out of this guy, so we're not going to concentrate on that too much. We're going to talk about the product at hand here. We're going to talk about this new record, Originals. And for this one, I even have the physical CD. I don't always have that on these reviews, but I have it here just to remind me about the track listing, the order, things of that nature. And kicking this thing off, we have Sex Shooter, which just sounds like straight up vintage Prince. This just sounds straight up like something off of Purple Rain, 1999, Controversy. It's an amazing start, super catchy, and it's just a great song. What a way to kick off this awesome record. And then right after that we go into Jungle Love, the biggest hit for Morris Day in the time, and of course we knew some of their stuff was going to be here since Prince was very closely associated with them, and it's amazing. It's very similar to the one that, you know, we all know and love from Purple Rain with Morris Day and all that. It's not changed a whole lot, but that's part of what's so interesting about this collection, is that Prince had so many of these songs fully realized, and he just gave them these people. He said, here you go. You know, and maybe give is a loose term because I know money was involved and things of that nature, but Prince really put a lot of heart and soul into what is essentially demos here for other artists to record these tracks. And then right after that we go into Manic Monday, which of course is arguably the biggest hit from the Bangles as well. You notice the trend here. Prince wrote big hits for these people. He always gave them some of their signature songs, and you know, again, it's not too different from the original, but it's Prince singing it, so if you ask me, it's better. I have nothing against the Bangles. They're fine, but I like Prince a lot better. I just like Prince a lot better at the end of the day, so this version is amazing. And they've even made a music video for this version with a bunch of unreleased footage and stuff, so I would definitely check that out if I was into Prince. And obviously I am into Prince, so I definitely checked it out for sure. And from there, the record just continues with songs for, you know, Sheila E., Vanity 6, Kenny Rogers, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of amazing stuff on here, and it ends with Nothing Compares to You, a track that's not completely unreleased because they did put this version out as a single last year and put it out on a 45. It's also been released in different live versions and things like that through the years from Prince. And if you get this version here, this is an exclusive to Target, weirdly enough. It does have what they call the cinematic mix of it, which is a really cool mix, and I would highly advise you guys to check it out. We all know this is a killer song, and you know, ending the record with this really makes sense to me because, you know, nothing compares to Prince, of course, and it seems like it would have been an easy thing to start the record with, but ending it I just think makes so much more sense. But even with us talking about the end of the record, we have skipped over a lot here because there's a lot of great tracks here. I mean, you've got, you know, Holly Rock, which is such a funky song. You've got Baby You're a Trip, which is just so sexy. You got the Glamorous Life, Prince's version of it, which now I can't even go back to the original. The Prince one is just so great. I guess this one actually is the original, but you know what I mean, the one we all know. Of course, you have even the More Stay in the Time song, Gigolos Get Lonely Too, which is just so great. Such a great song. It makes sense that Morris Day did it because it is more of a Morris Day song than it is a Prince song. This one I'd have a hard time seeing Prince really selling it in his, you know, own records, but it's a great song. And if I sound like I'm just talking about how great this record is, it's because that's what it is. This is an amazing record. It sounds like an unreleased Prince record. I mean, all of these tracks are really fully realized and produced pretty well. I'm sure they were cleaned up a little bit because some of these I've heard the rough versions of before, and you know, they wanted to make it sound like a record, and it really does sound like a record. It flows really well. The sequencing is very good. You know, they don't have just all the fast songs or all the slow songs together. It's sequenced really well, and this sounds like a conducive product and a really good, you know, overall record to listen to all at once. And honestly, that's what I've been doing. I've been listening to this thing on repeat in its entirety because there's not a bad track on it. You know, last year they put out the piano and microphone record, which was essentially just a rehearsal tape, and it was pretty rough, and it was really cool. I loved hearing it. It was just like you were in the room with Prince, but that was something for the die-hard fans, and I fall into that category. But this CD here, Originals, is something I think anybody could get into it that's into Prince or into these original songs or just into pop and rock music in general. It's a really good release from one of the greats of all time, and they really did a good job on this. This really, really gives me hope for a lot more of these unreleased Prince, you know, records, so to speak. Now, I don't think everything's gonna be killer, but as these releases come down the line and hopefully we get some expanded versions of some of his classic records and things like that, I have hope that we're gonna get some really, really cool stuff in the next couple of years. So if you're wanting to know if this record is for you and you just want to check out 2 tracks, I would say check out Sex Shooter as well as Nothing Compares to You. Sex Shooter, up-tempo, dance song, rockin', party anthem, great choice. Nothing Compares to You, a lot more sentimental, a lot more romantic, a lot slower, also a great choice. And I love this record. I know sometimes on this channel, I get accused of giving positive reviews to every record on here, which is not the case. Just go back and listen to the Danzig review if you don't believe me. But you gotta remember, I'm reviewing records from artists that I generally like, and I really, really, really love Prince. If I had to give this thing a rating, it'd be a 9 out of 10. Is it perfect? Not exactly, but it's darn close. And for these all just being demos that they spiced up for a release, it sounds like a full-fledged record to me, and it's sequenced well, the recordings sound good, and it's just overall amazing. If this had been one of his releases in the 80s, it would have done really well, and people would have just ate it up like they did everything else that he released. So it's a great record. Have you guys listened to it yet though? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it just a little bit, and hit that subscribe button if you're new around here and you haven't before, and hit the little alarm, because if you don't get the updates, it really doesn't help you out, because it doesn't help me out and nobody gets the video. So definitely hit the updates with the subscription button. Once again, my name is KimchiChris, and I will see you guys on the next video.